So if this is your first attempt of potty training and it didn't work, it's fine. Or if you're watching this video and thinking, somebody just help me, like, I don't know what more research I can do, this is the video for you. Hello, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. If this is your very first time, I'm Ndey, and today the topic is how I potty trained my 2-year-old. Yes, this is my second attempt of doing it, and I can tell you I have succeeded. It's not the glitz and the glamorous potty training that you see out there, that they're able to do it within a week and hooray, it's wonderful, it's amazing. This potty training video is not that. This is the real deal, what's happening. I'm telling you my mistakes, what I've learned. I'm giving you heart to heart, sister to sister, mum to mum. Let's get straight into this video. Before I get into the steps of the potty training, I just want to give you a quick background. So my son is 2 years, he's soon to be 3 in August, and we had a first attempt of potty training him. After a week, I realized it was not working. I followed way too many different types of training, potty training methods that did not work, i.e. the 3-day potty training method. And I did it like step by step, followed all the steps. It did not work. It was overwhelming for me, overwhelming for my son, and it was just a hot mess. After 3 weeks of having that break for my son and myself, I felt like that we were ready to be able to take the step into finally being serious about this potty training, because you have to be serious about it or else it won't work. So the first thing I had to do was to look at the readiness sign, and I say this very, very lightly because your child could be 3, 4 and you're like, they're still not ready. So readiness kind of does vary, but for me, I felt like it was time for us as a whole family, because my son is about to start school in August, and I wanted to just give him a good enough time to be able to be potty trained and continue to practice till we get to the stage where he's going into school. So I felt like it was the right time. Another sign that Jibba was ready is in terms of his communication. He is not a big talker, but he could communicate well. So I felt like it was great that, you know, as far as he could communicate with me and the rest of the family, that's great. He doesn't have to have like an ample amount of words to be able to be ready to be potty trained. Are not verbal in terms of their communication, so they will hold your hand, drag you to the toilet, and that's the way of them communicating to you. So communication varies, but for us, he's able to communicate and say the things that he wants. So we felt like he was ready in terms of potty training. He was interested in the toilet, and sometimes if he happened to see me in the toilet, he would help me with a tissue to wipe. So he's familiar with the area, you know, so that showed a sign of a readiness for us. So that's it in terms of the readiness. That's all the signs that I checked for, that he was able to communicate with us, that he was willing to actually go into the toilet and sit into the potty. Another thing that was very important was the timing. There's a lot to consider when it comes to potty training. It's not just staying at home and having that time to sit with your child and be able to observe him and look for cues when he needs to go to the toilet. It's also to do with like what stage of life is everybody in, like at the moment, in terms of the family dynamics. Are you currently sleep training? Because if you're trying to sleep train or take them out of a certain habit, then it would be very difficult to do that and do potty training, because potty training is such a big milestone and a big step in a child's life. I think it's so important to really kind of just focus on that on its own. You know, don't potty train when you know that you're moving houses. Don't potty train if you know that you've just started a new job and it could be very overwhelming for yourself. Don't potty train when you know that they've just started a new school or nursery, because you know that they are settling in. So find a good time to be able to start this potty training where everything is mellow at home. So the first thing I did in terms of preparing was I had a basket downstairs, because we have a downstairs toilet. I had a basket downstairs which had lots and lots and lots and lots of underwear, okay? I went into Tesco, I grabbed a bag of underwear. I don't even know how much was in it. I think probably was like 10 in it. I had so many underwears that were ready in that basket. I will show you a clip of what a basket looks like. I put underwear, I put vests, I put long tops and socks. I had my basket of all of that, and I put it in the toilet downstairs, because I know that if accidents happen, we go to the downstairs toilet, at least we've got a change of clothes, change of underwear. It's just a lot easier. So that really helped massively, because I didn't have to leave him when he's peed or around the toilet area and leave him on his own attended whilst I go upstairs and bring down underwear or anything like that. I didn't have to do that. Everything was there, which was really helpful. Another thing that we needed in terms of preparing for this potty training was a potty, which we originally had from my first son when we potty trained him. It was there, and then we also bought a toilet seat. We had to decide on the words that we were going to use, because when we first did our potty training, both me and my husband were using different words to ask him or to kind of help him go to the toilet. So we had to like change that the second time round. So we were like, okay, we're gonna use pee pee and poo poo. He knows what poo poo is, so we had to just make sure that we cleared that out. Like, if you need to go pee pee, tell me. If you need to go poo poo, tell me. So we were making sure that we're using the words that he would understand and the words that we would all use as a whole as we were potty training him. So that's really important. So the way that we decided to potty train was to time it. So if we know that he has had a lot of drinks, we will time it. Maybe every 10 minutes we will take him to the toilet, and we would just say to him, Jibril, let's go to the toilet to do a pee pee. It's time to go to the toilet, come on, let's do a pee pee. So we'll take him to the toilet, sit him down for him to go to the toilet, and he would do his pee. For the first 3 days, we just did it in terms of taking him to the toilet. We weren't waiting for him to tell us, we were taking him to the toilet. I know that what I've read or what I've listened to, they come to you. We were at the beginning stages, so we were the ones who would go and take him to the toilet. If he's had lots of drinks, we know it's going to be 10 minutes, so we're making sure that we put our phones on, we put the timer on our phones. Every 10 minutes we take him to the toilet. If we know that he's not had much liquids, we'll leave it for around 20 minutes and then we'll take him to the toilet. So that was our routine for the first 3 days. And including poos, if we know that, for example, for breakfast he would need to have a poo maybe 20 minutes after, so we would make sure that we keep an eye after breakfast every 10 minutes taking him to the toilet till he initially goes for the poo. When we do take him to the toilet, we will take off his pants for him. He will step on the stool and he will sit on the toilet, and then once he finishes peeing, we would have a big chair. Once we've washed our hands and everything, we would have a big party in the toilet. I mean, we was having a good time. We was like, yay, well done. I was like, well done, Jibril, you did a pee, well done, clap, high fives. We did all of that. Even at some point we did have stickers where he could pick a sticker, and he absolutely loved it. Even when he did have accidents, or when the accidents were happening and I rushed quickly to kind of take him from the situation and take him to the toilet, even if he does pee a little bit, I still tell him, well done for peeing a little bit. Next time, just make sure you come to the toilet and do all your pee in the toilet, okay? The poo did take a little bit longer for him to be able to adjust to. For some reason, I don't know why, but it just took him a long time. It took him probably about 3 days to be able to feel comfortable to sit and poo in the toilet. He was doing it on his underwear, so he would have poo accidents in his underwear because he just didn't feel comfortable pooing in the toilet. But eventually, after 3 days of just being consistent, he did end up pooing in the toilet, which I was so excited about. I was like, woo! oh, we had a pool in the toilet. Oh, it was amazing. Like, stinks, but it was amazing. So now 3 days after, we are changing our ways slightly, and this was me taking him out. When I took him out, we did have some accidents because I couldn't stay a whole week at home. I had to go out because I had school runs. There was no way that I could stay home all day. So sometimes we did have accidents, and it's okay. Just make sure that you take extra clothing, make sure that you take a plastic bag so that you can put the wet clothes, and then you'll be good to go. It does happen. There's nothing that we can do about it. It's just that something that they're just going to have to learn as the journey progresses. So we did have accidents when we did go out during our school runs, or when I've had to nip into Tesco. Yes, we've had those accidents. The one thing that I did do is when we were going out is before we headed out, I made sure he went to the toilet. I did make sure that as we're out, I'll limit the liquids that he's having throughout the time frame that we're out. I did have very short journeys because my Tesco is very close by. I didn't go anywhere far, so that was fine. And plus I went into shops that I knew that had toilets that I could take him to if he did need it. So when we were out in Tesco, for example, I'm going to buy something, after a little bit of doing a shop, maybe if I've been there for like 10 minutes or so, I will find a way to go to the toilet and take him to have a pee in the toilet, because I just know that it's going to be coming soon. We've been out for about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes now. He could possibly need it, so I just take him, and then we finish our food shop. I will take him to the toilet again, then we get him to the car. So I just had to make sure that we were in areas where the toilet was very easily accessible to us. So that's what I did in terms of when we did have to go. Like I said, everybody's different. I just didn't have the luxury of just being at home and not being able to go anywhere. So if you are traveling, going somewhere, make sure it's short journeys though, and just make sure that it's areas where you do have toilets. Now let's talk about the nap times and nappies. Nappies were only strictly for bedtime because I am not going to train him for nighttime potty training yet. I'm going to wait for that. But during the day there was no nappies, so even if it's napping, I would not put a nappy on him. But what I did do was that before I put him down for his nap, I would take him to the toilet first, and then his naps are usually maybe an hour and a half, maximum 2. He was not having a pee accident. He did have it maybe a couple of times during the whole process of the potty training, and we've been potty training now for 2 weeks plus. So he's had like just a few, probably like 2 incidents. As soon as he wakes up from his nap, I take him straight into the toilet for him to have a pee, and then we just carry on taking him to the toilet. 20 minutes, like I say, 10 minutes if he has had a lot of drink. After a week and a bit of doing this, he out of nowhere said, I want pee-pee. Done it with me, he's done it with his dad. Throughout the following week, he was, you know, he was saying it here and there. He wasn't saying it all the time. He was saying it here and there, and it was amazing. He was still having accidents, a lot less accidents. So we have maybe during the day we might have 1 accident or so. There are some times where he's focusing on the TV and focusing on playing, and he will have the accidents, but we do obviously make sure that we tell him, you know, let us know when you need to go to the toilet. When you do need to go, just leave everything and just go. Sometimes it is a little bit of a trickle, especially with boys. They can tend to trickle a bit. I don't change it when it's like a little bit of a trickle, because it's not a full thing, so I don't want him to feel like he's done something like really wrong and I'm like changing him whole entirely. We did put pants on for him, so he was wearing his joggers. We only did not have him wearing pants for the first week, but by the second week we felt confident and comfortable enough to put on his joggers. We've literally just finished potty training, and I would say finished, but kind of not finished, but we've reached to a very comfortable stage of our potty training, and it's been like maybe 2 weeks and 3 days or so. So we're very comfortable, confident in him. So I did do a first first attempt of potty training, and that went horribly wrong. So I'm here to tell you the mistakes that I made during that potty training that I definitely did not carry through the second time round when I was potty training. The first mistake that I did was I followed a step-by-step potty training, which was the 3-day potty training method, step by step, like followed everything without first observing my child to see the way that he best communicates and the way that best suits him to potty train him. I just followed these steps regardless of the signs that are showing that, because that said, give them lots of drinks and just kind of wait for them to just have those accidents. And I did that. That did not work. The other one was this unrealistic expectation of the timeline that I should complete potty training. That 3-day, first of all, was a no-no. And then I was like, okay, maybe not 3 days, I could do a week. No. None of the above. It was wrong. I mean, it's taken me over 2 weeks to get him potty trained. Another mistake that I made was the overconsumption of the information and different methods of potty training. I was just, you know, that nighttime when you're just Google, how do you potty train a 2-year-old? And then you're like, that's not enough. How do you potty train a 2-year-old boy? Too much information. I was overwhelmed and confused, and I didn't even know which methods were working. Another mistake that I did with my first attempt of potty training was waiting for my son to come and tell me he needs to go to the toilet, which he's never done before. So yeah, that was a mistake, a big mistake, because that's why I quit the first time around. It was so much, I was like, no more. Those are the things that I learned. Those are the mistakes that I made in the first attempt of potty training, which has made me a better potty training mother. Okay, I was better at potty training the second time round because I learned from those mistakes. The most important thing I will tell you is it will be completed. Chill out. Like, genuinely, like, I'm talking to you like this. If I was to speak to just one of my sisters, chill out. The child will learn how to potty train. Just be consistent. What I did make sure that I did was during the potty training of especially like the first week, I made sure that I wasn't spending too much time cooking, cleaning, tidying up, because I just wanted to be in the area that he was in so that I can watch him and see what's going on in terms of his reaction, in terms of when he does have the accident, or his reaction when he's about to go to the toilet or pee or poo. Or I just needed to make sure that I was around so that I can catch these incidents before it happens. I made sure that I just did all my preps during the Sunday, had even more extra preps. I made sure that anything that I was doing in the kitchen was very quick. It wasn't anything that I was going to spend more than 5 minutes. If you've got your partner around, this is a we thing. When we created the child, it was a we all the way. Now he is potty training is a we all the way too. You know. If I'm going upstairs and he's coming down, I'm like, okay, babe, I just took him to the toilet probably about 5 minutes ago. He's going to need to go in the next 5 minutes. Vice versa, he will tell me the same. So we had a really good communication in terms of making sure that our timings were aligned. We won't miss the times that he needs to go to the toilet. So I'm literally recording this video 2 weeks and 3 days after, and I'm buzzing because we did it a month ago. I was like, hell no. This is not going to happen. But I am so happy and excited, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna tell my sisters the real deal. What I wanted to showcase in this video was to share a journey of how we've done it, and from that journey of how we've done it, hopefully you can pick up some things that you feel like could work for you, or to just give you that sense of motivation that you can do it. But there's a lot of information, but you have to kind of tweak it to your child and your family dynamics and what will work for you. What I will do is in the description box below of the NHS, the potty training, that's what I'm going to link down below, because that really has like the bare minimum, not too much. and I think you'll be all right with the bare minimum. Let me know what your potty training journey has been, and comment down below if you're currently potty training, about to potty train, or your potty training experience. I would love to hear about it, because potty training is ruthless, okay? Thanks for watching this video. I'll definitely see you in another video. Bye.